17 of them. We're speaking about not the corporate businesses, but of course the philanthropic trusts, and that is where all eyes are. In fact, Sajith has more details on that story. Now, Sajith, we are expecting something to come in maybe a little post 2 o'clock. We know that that meeting is underway right now, but what are you hearing?
So, I've been trying to speak to some people on the part of the trust, and just to understand the constitution of the trust, because that's how you will decide who will be the chairperson of the trust. If you look at the Tata's entire structure, the Tata Sons is held nearly 66% by the two major trusts and the allied trusts which are there. So, Sir Ratan Tata Trust and Sir Dorabji Tata Trust. These trusts were formed in 1919 and 1930, and at that point in time there was a trust deed which was created, which mainly made sure that who will be the chairperson of that trust. And as part of the deed, it was always said that the chairperson of the trust would be in name and philosophy are Tata. Simple as that, and that's the same statement which has been going on for many years, many decades. And if you see, after Sir Dorabji Tata and Sir Ratan Tata went, I think Nawajbai Tata was the trust chairman, and she was there for many decades. Followed by then JRD, and then Ratan Tata came in as a trust. So it's very likely people are telling us that it's Noel Tata who's going to be the chairman of these two big trusts which owns stake in...
So these two big trusts own 50% stake, more than 50% in the trust sector, trust vertical, and the trust itself, total trust ownership in Tata Sons is 65.3%. But like Sajith said, we believe and we understand the likely torchbearer of this legacy is none other than Noel Tata. Neeraj Agarwal of Vistara joins in. Neeraj, we spoke only a few minutes ago, and while we were all doing the guess game, we do understand now that, like you had indicated as well, the Noel Tata could be taking on the legacy that Ratan Tata leaves behind. What are your initial thoughts?
So, the two important reasons why this could be, and again, this is just a wild guess which I made, and one, he is from the Tata family, and second, he's the single largest shareholder from the Tata family. So, that could be one of the reasons, and otherwise also he's a very nice person. So, that could be the reason he would be chosen as the trustee, and why I thought about it.
I mean, from what we understand, there were also some parts of the industry that were guessing it would be Maya Tata. You do not feel like the age could be, they would probably want younger blood? That doesn't seem like a concern or a thinking point for the board at this stage?
So if you look at the whole legacy, what they have done is they have really considered experience as one of the key factors, because remember, they are not one of those families where money is everything. It's about taking the business to the next level and do charity, and hence our understanding is experience is very, very relevant. And what their past action shows that they have chosen someone who has a lot of information, knowledge, and experience in this game. And when even I read the other reports, and I was not able to see her as a shareholder. So in fact, I had my doubts, but I just read those information. So my view was that it will be one of the shareholders, and there are 4 family members who are individual shareholders from the Tata family.
More details coming in from my colleague Vishwanath Nair as well. But before we get to him, Binoy Parekh with us. He's Executive Director of Catalyst Advisors. Binoy, thanks for speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. Now, just to understand, and for context for our viewers, what is the significance of Noel Tata taking on this position on the trust? What's the impact for Tata Sons and then, of course, for the rest of the corporate structure?
Right. So, couple of things. So one, like we spoke earlier, I think Tata Trust really is a caretaker of the shares of Tata Sons, being the largest shareholder, and therefore, the focus of Tata Trust and the objectives of Tata Trust is different than what Tata Sons has. Now, having said that, there will still be a cohesive relationship between Tata Trust in its capacity as a shareholder and Tata Sons as an institutional framework to run the businesses. So, yes, I mean, having a Tata family member as a chairperson of the Tata Trust would obviously make sense because then it will lead to a more cohesive relationship between the executive board of Tata Sons to function the businesses vis-a-vis to meet the objectives of Tata Trust, which is for a completely different purpose.
Binoy, like we spoke just a few minutes ago, you did indicate that while this is par for the course and the succession will be handed over potentially to Noel Tata, from what we understand, the day-to-day activity does not get impacted or changed. It's still the power of running the day-to-day operation still sits with N. Chandra. Is that a fair understanding for us?
That's right. See, because what we are looking at is the succession at Tata Trust level, and Tata Trust technically is a shareholder. Now, of course, it has a cohesive relationship with the board of Tata Sons, but both at Tata Sons level and, of course, you have the institution framework below Tata Sons, which is basically, let's say, all the Tata Group companies, Trent, TCS, etc. Those anyway are run independently as an organization, as an institution. So I don't think that the functioning of businesses will be impacted by the succession at a shareholder.
It's a fair point, and in fact that is one of the key questions a lot of investors in the Tata Group companies will be asking at this juncture. We have multiple sources that are speaking to us at this juncture, and in fact Vishwanath Nair, our banking and economy editor, has also picked up information that is seemingly what we've been speaking about so far. Vishy is joining us on the phone line to tell us what he's hearing. Vishy, tell us.
Right, Alex. So the story seems to be that Noel Tata is likely to take over the same position that Ratan Tata held at Tata Trust. Remember that this is a trust-level position, so there's multiple different companies and channels that are managed by Tata Trust. However, there is no real executive role in the group as far as this position is concerned. Once Noel Tata takes over, there's also Meli Mistry, who's a close friend of Ratan Tata, who's been on the Tata Trust on the trustee board for a while. He'll be taking over as a permanent trustee as well. That's what our sources are telling us. Essentially, what is going to happen is that Noel Tata, who was, from what my sources are telling me, was being groomed back in the day as a successor for Ratan Tata later on. However, that position, there was a bit of a change in the plan with Cyrus Mistry coming in and then going, and then Ratan Tata coming back. But it seems that the original succession plan of letting Noel Tata succeed Ratan Tata, that seems to be back on track, and the meeting that's happening today is likely to finalize this decision, Alex.
So as we understand it, Noel Tata is the likely, successor in that sense. But Sajid, I want to get your inputs on this, and of course we'll get more of our guests as insight. At the end of the day, the Tata Trust is the philanthropic arm. Having said that, they have an outsized ownership of Tata Sons where all the businesses sit. So is it as simple as to say that Noel Tata, who also runs Trent, by the way, will just be looking at the philanthropic businesses or the philanthropic portion of the entire group? What is the kind of, I would say, influence then a Noel Tata would exert on the group companies?
See, Noel, while he runs Trent business, but he's also on the board of several Tata companies as a non-executive chairman of many of the Tata companies. He's
Tata
there.
Investment, Tata International, Tata Company, Titan Company rather, and Tata Steel.
Yes. So if he's already there on the board of these big companies, which is there. What is going to happen is that, after the Cyrus Mistry episode, there was a clamor to, de-link Tata Trust and Tata Sons so that there is some governance standards can be put in, because Cyrus has been raising that issue and that led to the eventual fallout between Mr. Ratan Tata and Cyrus. That happened. And so that de-linkage has happened.
But there will still be a conflict.
They have owners. They are owners of Tata Sons for there's no doubt about it. But the point is that there is a de-linkage on the way Tata Sons will be working towards
the onus of that sits with N. Chandra.
N. Chandra. He is the head of Tata Sons, Sons, and the buck stops with him
the
and the board of Tata
from
Sons.
Ratan Tata to Noel Tata now, is largely passive control is what they would be exhibiting.
And passive control is anyways being given to the board of Tata Sons, where there are representatives
65.3%
anyways, right? And one needs to understand the entire concept of Tata Trust as well.
We're joined actually by Shailesh Haribhakti, who's the chairman of Haribhakti Associates. Sajit, you have a question for him?
Mr. Haribhakti, my question was with respect to the fact that, when these trusts were formed in 1919 and 1930, there was a deed which was formed, and a deed very categorically stated who would be the chairperson of these trusts going forward. And now, there has been a lot of speculation about who would be there, and we have been given to understand that Noel Tata will be the obvious choice now, who will be leading it. How do you see this entire structure, going through, and what kind of role, you see Noel Tata performing, because he's already part of many of the trusts as we speak, as a trustee?
Yes, I sincerely believe that Noel Tata is the heir apparent, and he will ascend to the position that he richly and fully deserves as the chairman of the Tata Trusts. It is the position that holds the highest clout and the highest respect. I think that is the structure of the trust and Tata Sons, which has made it stand the test of time. Over all these years, over all these decades, there has been a harmony, and there's been a way to make sure that the interests of the shareholders of the Tata Group and the interests of the people who benefit from the Tata trusts are both kept in super alignment. And I can't think of a more judicious, mature, competent and capable person than Noel Tata to take charge of the Tata Sons. I'm very confident that there will be a smooth succession, a complete preservation of the fantastic reputation that the Tata Group has globally. And I think that is where I believe this succession will lead us to.
Shailesh, just a follow-up on that, and I completely take your point about Noel Tata coming in as the heir apparent and likely successor to Ratan Tata. But we were discussing right now about a potential change in the way that the group operates, in the way that Tata Sons manages these businesses. What sort of a role does Tata Trusts play in steering the direction of the group? Do you anticipate that there could be any changes, or do you think that what we've seen so far will continue to take place?
Absolute continuity is what I expect. There is deep respect for the board of Tata Sons, which has luminaries on it, and which has shown amazing resilience through all the turmoil and all the challenge that happened over the past few years. And so I don't see anything changing there. I don't think any power equations are going to be ruffled. I know that Mr. Noel Tata brings deep respect, leadership, and outstanding qualities of head and heart. So he's not one that I would expect at all to create any disruptive or